Hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel. So my name is Juan, and I'm making this YouTube channel because I want to talk about our healthcare system and how broken it is. So really, my experience with the healthcare system really started not too long ago, where I had some health issues and I had to go to the emergency room because I didn't really know how the healthcare system worked. So I decided to go to the emergency room for something that maybe I could have gone to urgent care for. And I was pretty stunned at my experience. So basically, I went into the emergency room with some pain in my groin, and they took me in. They put me in a gurney, right? Something kind of unnecessary. I had a personal handler, which I thought was really fancy, but obviously unnecessary. And they did some tests, they did an ultrasound, and then they charged me $6,000. Now, obviously, they gave me discounts, and that kind of sent me into a rabbit hole of negotiating bills and dealing with insurance companies and dealing with obscene prices, really scary prices, sticker prices for procedures. And it just kind of piqued my interest because, what I've come to learn is that healthcare is unlike any other market, any other industry in the United States. It's truly a fascinating but despicable and huge part of our lives as Americans. So I think this is probably the most interesting topic for me right now in the world and in this country. I think any other industry has its problems, has its characteristics, but healthcare is probably the most interesting thing going on right now, and it's actually like the biggest problem that I see moving forward that needs solving basically, or that needs improvement. So a couple of quick facts that I kind of learned throughout the past couple of weeks, throughout the past month really. So I learned, a little bit of background about me. I'm not in the healthcare industry. My parents aren't in the healthcare industry. My mom is a little bit, but otherwise, I don't have exposure to the shenanigans of healthcare, other than as a patient. And some of the things that I've learned is that healthcare is actually much bigger than people think. Healthcare comprises about 17 or so percent of the entire U.S. economy, which equates to about $4.5 trillion a year. Now, $4.5 trillion a year, that's the market for healthcare. I think that's an astounding number that not many people have wrapped their heads around. I mean, it's crazy how much money we spend on healthcare and how much money some of these companies are making off of us and off of the government and off of insurance companies. It's really just a ginormous game where everybody wants a piece of the pie, and it's a really big pie. And in most cases, actually in nearly all cases where the game is played, the patient usually loses, right? The patient is usually left with the burden that all of these companies are playing. So moving forward, I think I want to talk about the pharmaceutical industry, how they overcharge for drugs, and how that whole market works, and how they take advantage of the fact that prices aren't regulated, that they can really charge whatever they want, and they actually use, obviously, business tactics to monopolize certain procedures and certain medications to make a lot of money. I'm also going to be talking about how healthcare in the United States compares to healthcare all over the world. So I think if you are a consumer of healthcare in America and you've had like a substantial amount of exposure to healthcare, you really ought to invest in being knowledgeable about how other healthcare systems in other countries work, and additionally on top of that, you should actually try to set roots in other countries, because the difference is significant enough. For example, if you want to get a surgery or buy a drug in the United States that's being manipulated by all these companies, and that's costing you 100x of what it should cost, that's a significant amount of difference, enough to warrant like a trip to somewhere outside the country. Like if you want to buy a drug and it costs $1,000 a month here in the United States, and it's something that you desperately need, and you look at Canada, for example, and it costs again like 1,000x or 100x less in Canada, then it's definitely worth it to explore like buying a ticket to Canada, getting what you need, and then coming back or whatever. Like I think international like travel for healthcare reasons is probably already big. I'm gonna explore more about that, obviously, but it's definitely definitely super interesting how pretty much every developed nation uses a certain kind of system that works, except the United States. The United States, chooses corporate greed and corporate profits over, public health on a regular basis. So I'm going to explore that. I'm also going to do some reviews. There's a lot of medical bills out there, and kind of how they work is also super interesting to me, because we've all seen obscene medical bills. $40,000 for a minor, for like 2 days stay at the hospital. $40 to hold your baby. That's like the most known meme in healthcare right now, is that when you have a baby, the hospital charges you $40 so that you can hold your baby skin to skin contact, they say, and they have a code that they can bill you for. And so, that's just one of the insanities of the healthcare industry, and I think it's super interesting, very devastating for a lot of people, but definitely, super interesting to take a look at. Also a little bit funny at times because of its ridiculousness. So that is what this channel is going to be about. I'm really excited to make more videos and talk about healthcare in America, because I think it benefits all of us to be more aware about how to navigate this crooked world that is American healthcare. So thank you guys. I will see you soon.